I was a kid, whenever I'd feel small or lonely, I'd look up at the stars. Wondered if there was life up there. Turns out I was looking in the wrong direction. When alien life entered our world, it was from deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. A fissure between two tectonic plates. A portal between dimensions. The Breach. I was 15 when the first kaiju made land in San Francisco.
Pacific Rim is just one crazy movie. It starts off with an alien portal being opened deep in the Pacific Ocean, and these crazy-ass monster things, called kaiju, start coming out and attacking cities all over the world. When humans try to fight back, the weapons and technology they had could not stop the kaiju. So they did the next most logical thing. Build huge robots called Jaegers that are controlled by pilots and try to beat the shit out of these aliens. However, even these Jaegers couldn't really stop the kaiju. As a military last-ditch effort, they send a bunch of these different Jaegers on a suicide mission to blow up the portal in the ocean and defeat these aliens.
Oh my god.
So these giant Jaegers connect with their pilot's brains, so when the pilot, for example, punches, the robot mimics their movement. In the movie, it is explained that they initially tried to have a one pilot per Jaeger system, but the neural connection between the robot and the human was too much, so they developed a two-pilot system, so the strain would be equally split between the two brains. When two people pilot one of these Jaeger bombs,
Oh my god.
their brains sort of become one, and they see their co-pilot's memories. This two-pilot system plays right into the theme and message that Guillermo del Toro, the director, was trying to deliver through this movie. His message was that we're all together in the same robot, life. We either get along or we die. He also said that people need to trust each other and cross barriers like sex, beliefs, race, and just stick together so we can survive anything that is thrown at us. It's a simple, yet impactful message. It's a shame the viewer hardly gets that message due to the terrible plot and writing. At least we have some kick-ass fight scenes though, right?
Oh my god.
One of the reasons why the plot is so weak is because of the lack in character development. The movie opens with an introduction to the Beckett brothers. The narrator, Raleigh Beckett, talks about how neither him nor his brother were star athletes or good at school, which paints a picture that they weren't really that perfect. However, they do have a unique characteristic, and that was that they were drift compatible, whatever the hell that
Could
means.
hold our own in the fight. And it turned out we had a unique skill. We were drift compatible.
Well, whatever it is, it clearly didn't help fight the kaiju that killed Raleigh's brother and almost killed him.
Went through the hole! Rolly, listen to me! Got him! Got him!
So now we know almost everything about Raleigh that the entire movie provides. Not a star athlete, not that smart, and that he's drift compatible with his now dead brother. Not so deep for the main character in a 2-hour long movie. The only other thing we learn about him is that he's drift compatible with one other person, Mako.
Not a fight, but I'm not gonna dial down my...
Also, at this point, we still don't know what the hell drift compatibility even is. Mako is a Japanese woman who lost her entire family in a kaiju attack when she was just a little girl. She is one of the main characters in the movie, as she ends up piloting a Jaeger with Raleigh. With Mako, at least there's a little bit more character development, because we slowly learn a little bit more about her past when the movie progresses. When she is first introduced, she is with Pentecost, the man in charge of the Jaeger division of the military. The two of them seem to have an extensive history. As the movie progresses, we learn more about Mako's relationship with Pentecost. It turns out Pentecost saved Mako from the kaiju attack on the day her parents died. Huh. He kinda looks like an angel or savior in this shot. Wait a minute. This is foreshadowing. At the end of the movie, Pentecost sacrifices himself to close the portal in the ocean. He is the savior.
先生、愛しています。
So if you really look for it, there kind of is a sense of unity and togetherness that Del Toro was trying to relay. It just isn't very developed. Pretty much the only sense of togetherness that we get is due to the neural connection of co-pilots, and the fact that Pentecost saved and adopted Mako after one of the kaiju attacks. At least there are a few instances that deliver the director's message. However, it's hard to grasp that message when the writing is worse than the character development, and the movie's littered with over-the-top fighting scenes.
Oh my god.
So these Jaegers make absolutely no sense. Sure, they're massive, but Pentecost says something that gives us a ballpark of how heavy these brobots really are.
Assembled in Shansu, full titanium core, no alloys, 50 diesel engines per muscle strand.
50
Deadly precise
diesel
fighter.
engines per muscle strand? That's a lot, even for a giant-ass robot. 50 diesel engines per Jaeger muscle strand puts each muscle strand at about 60,000 pounds, assuming that these diesel engines are about 1,200 pounds each. So multiply that by 50 and you get 60,000 pounds. And this is just one Jaeger muscle strand. So what? Multiply that by about 400 and you get a rough estimate of how much a Jaeger might weigh. I feel like I just said Jaeger a lot.
Fucking Jaeger bombs, Jaeger bombs, Jaeger bombs, fucking Jaeger bombs, Jaeger bombs, Jaeger bombs.
Anyways, so they have these helicopters that are carrying these robots everywhere. How? And why? This isn't even possible. At least not with the double rotary choppers that they have carrying the Jaegers. Their max load carrying capacity is about 5,000 pounds. And if you have 8 of them carrying a Jaeger, that's 40,000 pounds. They can't even transport a Jaeger muscle strand. Alright, let's ignore the major flaw that these Jaegers are actually way bigger than they let on. Let's now just tear apart a different idea. The idea of drift compatibility, or what we think drift compatibility even is. From our understanding, it's essentially how well the brains of two co-pilots work together. So when two people are drift compatible, they can seamlessly control the Jaeger. If this drift is supposed to connect the two pilots' minds so they can physically and mentally operate in tandem, why do they even talk to each other? How does one turn their head towards the other without the other turning their head in the same direction? This whole neural handshake thing does not seem to be well thought out. In addition, somehow, there are instances where drift compatibility makes even less sense. For example, in the Japanese Jaeger, there are 3 pilots instead of 2. The robot has 3 arms and 2 legs. How does that even work? Do all 3 of them control the legs? Or is there one slacker who just controls an arm? Also, on a side note, why is it that the Asian Jaeger is the one that has 3 pilots instead of 2? Is it because they're bad drivers? Because that's racist. Okay. So, the Jaegers are completely illogical, and the concept of drift compatibility, while interesting, clearly was not well thought out. But at least it has some awesome fight scenes. The downside is, if you even just take a second to analyze the fight scenes at all, these don't seem to make much sense either. The way that the Jaegers fight the kaiju throughout the movie is through hand-to-hand combat, and occasionally the use of an ion cannon that's on the Jaeger's arm.
Engage your air missiles!
Wait, this motherfucker has missiles and didn't use them until now? He just sits there and watches his buddies get waxed by 2 kaijus and didn't even fire a shot. Talk about a buddy fucker. Hold up. A kaiju EMP? Really? Somehow, these things are made of soft tissue and bone, basically animals or fish on hypersteroids and as tall as skyscrapers, and they can just create an EMP blast out of their asshole? I'm not buying it. This isn't the only nonsensical fight scene in the movie. There are numerous occasions where the Jaegers are in position to kill the kaiju that they are fighting, but they just blow it. There are many instances where they grab the kaiju and just throw them back into the water, where they came from, by the way, instead of just ending the fight and killing them when they have the upper hand. Whenever the Jaegers gain an advantage in these fights, they piss it away only to draw out the fight even longer and either get owned or just be responsible for more shit getting smashed. It's nonsense. So, what was this video even about? Oh yeah, the movie being about togetherness or some horseshit like that. How is the viewer even supposed to get that message when it's so convoluted by bad plot, terrible writing, and overdrawn fight scenes? It was hard enough to find this theme while analyzing the movie, so I can't imagine it would be recognizable for the average moviegoer who just wants to watch the movie.
Jaeger bombs.
In addition, I don't know where I am. Fuck.